Hello, and welcome to Herron Solutions podcast, episode number 9. Today we have Miss Jane from Personalities Plus ABQ here with us today. And we like to give our guests a special gift. So this is for you. You can only get these by coming on the podcast.
Oh, thank you.
So
Thank you. That's special.
It is our HS mug or coffee mug.
Thank you.
But we brought you on today. We really have heard about your ministry and what you are doing, and we really want to know more about it. We want our listeners to know more about it, how they can help out, just how it started. So I guess we could start there. How did this come about?
Okay. All right. Well, in 2016, my hairdresser, Sarah Sanchez, was cutting my hair and said, I have 3 purses to donate, and you volunteer all over Albuquerque. Where should I take them? And I said, well, let me see them. And they were like right off the shelf, like brand new. So by the time she got through cutting my hair, we'd come up with the idea that we should gather purses and fill them. And at the time, I was volunteering at 3 different organizations in town. I'd retired. And I was working with a peaceful habitation, helping women out of prison, Barrett House, helping women with children out of homelessness, and Women's Housing Coalition with Angie Ludy, women out of domestic violence. So I called each of the executive directors the next morning and said, we had this idea, what do you think? And they loved the idea. So I said to Sarah, we need to pray for 50 purses. She said, 50? Yikes. And so I wrote to 22 friends, and she told her clients, and we collected 180.
Whoa.
I know. Wasn't that great? And so Sarah said, now what? And I said, oh, I know where they should go. So the next year I continued to contact other organizations and told Sarah, okay, 450. We need to pray for 450. She said, where have you been? I said, well, there's a need. There's a need. So we prayed for 450, and we got 1,087.
Ooh, wow.
I know, God's abundance, right? Why do we act surprised? But I was shocked. So it continued like that, and then COVID hit, which set us back a little bit because we couldn't gather to stuff purses. They wouldn't accept anything that'd been used, which some of the purses were used. Everything inside is new. Mm-hmm. So we kind of had to kind of curtail it that year, although people were bringing me filled purses. And I put them in boxes to deliver. I think, and I quarantined them for 2 months. And then I called 3 organizations and told them I had some purses that have been in quarantine. And would you like them? And they loved them. So there are 3 organizations that are getting purse gifts for Mother's Day. And the rest of the 32 get them for Christmas. So, and now we're back on full tilt. So
Yes, I hear, as you said, I don't know why we act surprised, but just to, I never seem to not be amazed. And I just hearing that and not just thinking about the purse itself, but what's behind the purse. So as you were in that chair getting your hair cut, what were those thoughts that were going through just about the purses and the people that they were going to touch? How did that come about?
well, we just wanted to give them the essentials that are nice to have, but also nice things to go in it, accessories and things like that. But also we really just wanted to bless them. And so our scripture is from Psalm 91:4. And we hang that scripture tag on every purse. And we pray over the purses. We pray as the APD takes them out to their trucks and takes them out to deliver. And we just pray it makes an impact, gives some joy and some encouragement and just the knowledge that somebody out there that doesn't even know them cares about them. Mm. And women are very generous with this. And women love doing this, especially since it stays in our state. Mm. And we are totally I had to become a nonprofit. I was digging in my heels I didn't want to do that. I didn't want the paperwork. I didn't want all the paperwork. And then we got too big, and a man handed me a check for $2,000, and I said, I cannot give you a tax donation receipt. And he said, oh, I'm sorry, I can't do that. And I thought, wow, how many purses that would have filled. So I probably waited a year too long to become a 501c3 because I was being stubborn. But the next year we did, and I have an amazing board that I try and keep up with. They're dynamos, and volunteers have come to us that just love what we do. And so we start on Mondays and Wednesdays in October, November. We collect year-round. We have some great boutiques in town who collect from their customers, and a quilt store, Hip Stitch, and hairstylists. And then Caldwell Banker Legacy Real Estate Companies. There's one in Los Lunas, East Mountain, and all over Albuquerque. They're drop-off locations. So you could drop off things year-round there. But October, November are heavy-duty months when we're really cranking. So the first 2 years, we got purses filled. And then as I kept getting more organizations, we started getting empty purses. And so I thought, okay, I can handle this. But, the pocket it dries up after a while. And then I started asking my friends, and I was getting money to keep up with it, but it just got too big. So that's when we became the 501c3. And, God is so good. He brings people with these gifts that I don't have. I love it, how he works. And he brought, a lady came to me and she said, wouldn't you like to have some jewelry in those purses? And I said, oh, that'd be fabulous. And she's Mary Ellen Merrigan is a known artist and jeweler. And she has a team of ladies. We collect used costume jewelry, and they clean it, and they put them separate and make sets of them. So every purse, as it's filled, the final thing they get is a set of jewelry in it, and on the label it says, blessings from Personalities Plus ABQ and many generous women, because there are many generous women. And then we have people knitting new scarves. On the winter purses, we want the warm things, the hat, the gloves, the warm scarf. So we have a lady in Arizona who sends us a box a week of scarves and gloves and hats and other goodies. People in Albuquerque make fleece scarves, or they knit or crochet. So we're excited to have all these people just give their gift, which we just love.
Yes. And you had mentioned that it's all over New Mexico.
Yes.
Can you give me more information about that?
Yes. Well, we were just doing Albuquerque, and then Rio Rancho, because they have a domestic violence haven house. We love them, and CareNet. And then we started with the domestic violence. So we are in Santa Fe, Valencia County, and Los Lunas, Taos, East Mountain, and now here. We'll be able to provide for the women in your housing. I'm so excited about that.
Yes.
Wow, thank you. Thank you for everything you do. That's amazing to be able to bless these women that have been through a lot, to bless them with these special gifts. So I just want to say thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. We've gotten great stories and pictures and of how touched the women are. I had a guy say to me, "It's just a purse. What's the big deal?" And I said, "You don't get it. You just don't get it."
Right.
And the fact that it's any gift for them, because a lot of the women, if they have any funds, they don't spend it on themselves. They're spending it on their children or making ends meet, and so it's a special surprise. They get to pick them out too. By the way, we don't wrap them. So some of the organizations have a Christmas party and put them all out there, and they all get to go pick what they like. Others are not housed, and so they just come in for counseling. And so they'll have them in a room, and they'll get to pick them out when they come for counseling. So it's kind of fun to see them pick. And I had a great story from Enlace Comunitario in the South Valley for domestic violence for Hispanic women. And one of the counselors called me, or wrote to me and said, I need to share with you how important this was. It wasn't just a gift for her. It took 25 minutes of counseling her and helping her understand that she could make a choice. She was just so beaten down that she didn't even know what color she liked, what she wanted, whatever. So it took 25 minutes for her coaching her and helping her pick out a purse for herself. That just sort of blew my mind, but anyway. So good things come from it besides just being a gift.
Yes, and as thinking about that one lady, and just every purse that you have given throughout the years, the story that is behind each and every one of those purses, and letting them know that they are special and that they are loved. And we think about just everyday women, like you're saying, most of the time it's all about the kids, it's all about this, it's all about that. And then if you're in a situation that has made your life difficult, then you really get put to the back and you completely forget who you are and how to take care of you.
Right.
And so you're bringing that back to them and letting them know that they are important, that they are loved, that they mean something.
They have a voice,
Yes.
and it's important. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an opportunity for them to be able to have that experience. Like you said, it could have been for her just that first time where she was able to say what she wanted and think about it. And that just, it's beautiful to see how much that impacts.
Another organization, Casa Fortaleza, broke away from Enlace Comunitario in the South Valley, and they are doing just sexual assault, which is a little bit different than, can be a little bit different than just the domestic violence. So when I went to visit her, she was just this amazing young lady, and we sat down to talk, and she said, look at these earrings. And I said, uh-huh. And she said, I got these in my purse when I got a purse when I broke away from domestic violence. So it just thrilled me to see that she was proud still to, and thoughtful about it. Yeah.
What a symbol for them, the purse, all the things inside of them. Yeah. You had mentioned that there are videos, like reaction videos. Is that on your website or Facebook?
We have some, mainly just stills. We have videos of some of the boutiques and their commitment to us.
Oh, okay.
And how they want to interact and how they want to give. Mainly the photos, because of privacy, sometimes we just take it from the neck down of them getting their purses at a party, or we have to be careful with where they are personally and where, and to be private about it. So we don't have videos, but we do have some stills on it's on Facebook. We don't have a website. I'm too stingy to spend money there. Every penny we get goes into a purse. So
Nice.
if we want something extra, the board and I pay, comes out of our pocket. We just feel committed to that.
Okay.
Well, I'm just blown away with this. So how do other organizations get connected with you if they were interested in blessing, their clients or anyone with a purse?
They can email me or call me, leave a text. It's at 505-263-8366. They can text or write. And then they can contact me by email, jbick@comcast.net. And we'll be happy to visit with them and be happy to. In fact, last December, when APD had us on KOB, 2 more organizations called me after that I had not met before. And I said, I'd love to help you. All the volunteers are gone for the holidays, but I've got purses and I got stuff. Do you want to meet me there and let's do the purses together? So the employees came from, one from Pojoaque and one from Albuquerque, and came in and we just sat down in the room and they just needed 35 or 40. It wasn't hundreds, so we could handle that. And we just sat and gathered the purses and did them together, and they took off with them. So it's nice that we can reach out when that happens.
So if somebody wants to donate items, they can also contact you with the same phone number, the same email.
Right. The best thing to do would be to use one of our drop-off locations if possible. And it's listed on our Facebook page. It's the Caldwell Banker Legacy Real Estate Offices. And we'd prefer they do that. If not, give me a call. Okay. Sometimes, like a church or a book club or a women's golf club group, or we'll have a big event and have everything collected at once, and then I'll just go and pick it all up because it's too much just to drop in a box at one of those locations. So that would work too.
Okay. So on Facebook, it's Personalities,
Plus. P-U-R-S-O-N.
Okay.
Is spelled, yes.
Yes.
P-U-R-S-O-N-A-L-I-T-I-E-S, and then plus P-L-U-S, ABQ.
ABQ.
Someone said, why did you do ABQ? And I said, well, we might have some others start in another state. I'm trying to get, a lady called me from Florida and a lady from Wisconsin. And my son said, Mother, you need to go national with this. And I said, no, I'm hanging up right now. I said, I help anybody start in any other state. So I thought, well, I'll put ABQ in there just so they know it's from us.
What other items can people donate? What are some typical items that you would like to have in there? What are some things that maybe you don't get a lot of that you would need more of? What are some of these items that we can, some of the listeners or people that might want to donate, what are some of those items that you need?
We always like to put a little hygiene packet in of shampoo, conditioner, body lotion, and a little bar of soap that they used to find in the hotels. They're doing away with that, so now I'm ordering them online. Some of the organizations that they're housed, they provide that, but we give it to everybody anyway. And then we put a new hairbrush, a new mani-pedi set, toothbrush, toothpaste. We have a cosmetic bag. We put cosmetic bag in every purse, and we'll add a mirror and at least chapstick. Whenever I can get makeup, we like to put a mascara and lipstick in there. Not the foundation, because we never know who's going to get what color, right? And then I had this adamant, I said, this is the 2 things we have to buy, because I'm not sure they'll be in every purse. And that is a calendar, a 2-year calendar for their purse, because I asked Steelbridge once, what am I not doing that you would like? And she said, we'd really like pocket calendar. I said, everybody's got a cell phone. She said, yeah, but they don't have an iPhone with a calendar. And I said, ugh. So we started buying those. And the other thing I think is really important, that everyone has a little journal with a pen. So we buy those and put them in. But other than that, we can always use all the hygiene things. And let's see if I thought of anything else. Billfolds. We like to put a billfold in if it matches. And we always collect scarves. And the ladies, when they're doing the purses, will fight over a particular, I need that one for my purse. So anyway, we'll take those, and then we put our scripture tag on the handle and tie the scarf around the handle and box it up. But deodorant and hairbrushes are hard. We never have enough, seems like.
Yes, I can picture those ladies at first just getting the purse, and then as they're opening it, just with their excitement, but then just hearing you saying, like, maybe even trading items that match and stuff like that. So it turns into more of a special time when they're realizing that this is for me. This is something that was
Yeah.
given to me, and making that even more special. So I can definitely hear and see them, and the joy and the just comfort to know, even if it's just for a moment.
There's excitement.
Yeah.
There's excitement. And we like to see their eyes, but we can't show them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I can definitely imagine what that looks like.
But we would be willing, we have year-round drop-off locations. Now is a push for all the needs we have. We did 2,800 purses last year.
Wow,
And
2,800.
yeah,
Wow.
so
Was this one of your top, like the most amount that you've given out?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we get things that we can't use. And I think it's important that you know that we send those to places that we know they can be used. Yeah. Most of the purses we get, we want them like new, but we have a lady she does magic. If there's a little stain, she can clean it out. But they look new when they're given. We want them to be like a gift that you would give to your friend or your mother. So they work hard on getting them nice purses and getting them nice and clean ones. But everything inside is new. The jewelry is recycled, and those are picked out. Those sets are picked out to match the purse and the scarf.
So can you break down a little bit the process of the purse being put together? Is that the opportunity where volunteers can come and help with that? You described the first step of the purse being donated, and then if someone, your talent on your volunteer group, they do that next step of making sure it looks
Right.
new.
Yeah.
Can you just describe after that?
Sure.
how-
We inspect them, and then we put them on a big table. And then we have just rows of tables with bins of stuff. And so you grab a purse, and we always say, please inspect it also. And they just go down the row and put the hygiene, and then the hairbrush and toothbrush and deodorant, and keep going down all the aisles and fill it up. So they get to pick out what will coordinate with it. And like I said, I get tickled at listening to them argue over a scarf. They have a lot of fun. And there's women from all over that I've never known before, from all walks of life, and it's just a great fun. If anyone ever does want to volunteer, I have an email that I send out and let you know the dates. Someone said, don't you want us to sign up? And I said, I can't deal with that. God will bring the people that I need. Here's the day we're working from 9 to 11 or 1 to 3. Come if you can. And even if it's for an hour and you have another appointment, come for an hour. And God always provides the people we need to get the job done. We have a couple organizations that are coming at separate times from the normal volunteers. And so if a group wants to say, well, we want to bring our stuff and we want to process the purses with you, I'll pick another date for them whenever it's convenient and meet them there, and we'll go through that. But I think this year we're going to finish early because I've got several groups coming in addition to, some organizations that said, we want to do 20 purses for this organization. I said, okay. So they're going to bring them and we'll just put them in a box. I mean, I think it's going to go very quickly this year because we normally quit the week before Thanksgiving. And we only work Monday from 9 to 11 and Wednesday from 1 to 3 because we're waiting for more donations coming. Because someone said, why don't you just get it cranked out in 2 weeks? But sometimes it's a matter of needing the donations that are coming in. So we'll be through a week before Thanksgiving, and then APD will come December 2nd.
So does APD do all of your deliveries?
Yes. Are they amazing?
Wow.
I know. They have a community engagement group, and they're just amazing, and they've been doing it 5 or 6 years now. And it's always the same people. They call me Sarge.
Sarge.
Go ask Sarge what she wants. But they're so busy and we have so many boxes that I have to give a sheet to several volunteers because we have 4 rooms in an annex behind a church, Fellowship Christian Reformed Church on Indian School. And they gave me this annex behind their building to work in. So it's just pretty amazing. And so there's too many rooms for me to remember what's where. And so we've got coordinators at each room saying, this, come here. And then I just give APD the list of the name, the address, and the contact person. And it's on their own. I don't know when that day, when they're going to hit. So I just warn the organization they're coming today. It's December 2nd. I'll let them know ahead of time so that they can receive the boxes. We like to get them out the first week. So sometimes they have a party the first weekend of December, or people are coming in for counseling, and I want to make sure they get one for Christmas. So.
Awesome.
So how did the connection happen between APD? Were you just at coffee one day somewhere, or how did that begin?
How did I get arrested? Or
Did they pull you over and you're like, hey, I need some help?
more ways than one, I need help.
What are you doing with all these purses in the back of your car?
It looks like I mugged a lot of people I used to meet people in the parking lot and open up my trunk, and I thought, oh, my word, if they ever see this, they'll wonder. Actually, a friend of mine, Val Jameson, runs a ministry called Stand True for Blue. And it's a ministry where she supports and gathers support for the APD and in the community area. And they do amazing work with APD. So we were visiting one day, and she said, how many boxes do you have? And I was over 100. And, some of the organizations have the capability of moving a lot of boxes, and some don't. Mm-hmm. And so she said, I need to introduce you to Chief Medina. So I went to a meeting, and with his head honchos around the table, and got to explain what I did. And he said, well, how can we help you? And I said, moving them? I was kind of apprehensive, although that's the purpose of me being there. Mm-hmm. And he says, okay, just talk to the guy ahead of you. He's in charge of that. He'll take care of it all for you. Mm. And he was head of SWAT. I was going, okay. So anyway, I just call up Lieutenant Jennifer Garcia now is over the community engagement, and pick a date, and I buy breakfast burritos and coffee, and they meet me at 8:30 in the morning, and then they're off and running.
Okay, so it's the burritos
Yeah.
and the coffee.
Yeah.
Just in case we might need.
I asked Art, I want to buy breakfast burritos. I was thinking about, he said, Rudy's are the best. I said, okay, got it. I'll go to for Rudy's. And then he said, but they're small. I said, okay.
So I'll buy double.
3 or 4 each. Would that do? Oh, yeah, that sounds good.
So I thought of a question going back to the purse donations. Can you share what type of size of purse? Because I was just thinking about all the items that you're placing into them. What's the preferred size?
A medium to large is best. But then I have exceptions, because one of the organizations said, our women don't really like purses. They really want a billfold. Well, I said, I can't put anything in a billfold. So we have tote bags, and a bunch of ladies who are seamstresses have made these gorgeous tote bags with straps on them. So we'll put a billfold in those and then put all the goodies with it. Also, we have 2 big organizations that we do 100 for, and they're homeless, and one's God's Warehouse, mm-hmm. and the other's Joy Junction, and they don't necessarily want a big purse, so we do a real fancy tote bag, and then we put a little billfold in it. A little purse, because they want a purse, but not this big grand thing. And so we kind of, at first we said no small purses, but then it kept changing as we found out it really worked for some people. And so at the end, as I said, we move everything out. So if I get humongous bottles of shampoo or stuff, that's too much to put in a purse. but we'll take it to Senior Horizons. Ron Hidalgo helps with senior citizens and their grocery bills
Okay.
and the
Nice.
utilities, so we'll take it there. The things that are really, really trashed, we will take to Goodwill. I remember Julie Brown was volunteering with me, and she said, "Where are you throwing those purses?" And I said, "I'm throwing them in the dumpster." And she said, "Oh, don't do that. Take them to Goodwill, Jane. We need to take them to Goodwill." And I said, "I'd be embarrassed to take them to Goodwill." And she said, no, you don't understand. I didn't know at the time Julie was on the board of Goodwill. She said, "We bundle great big bundles that go to Haiti, et cetera, different countries. And they take the parts. They'll take the zipper, they'll take the rings, they'll use various parts of the thing." So those that we wouldn't consider even a market selling, because sometimes thrift stores could sell them. We didn't want to use them as a gift, but they're really not good at all. So we have Goodwill. We have some thrift stores that say, if you have some, let us look at them.
Okay, so
And then the little tiny ones, when we have a lot left over, the evening bags, that no one ever uses anymore, and they're always clean because we don't use them anymore. And the small purses that we have left over, we gift to Locker 505. And they help teenagers get ready for the prom. And so they said, "We'd love to have your evening bags to go with their gowns." And so anybody that would want, have a need for that. We also do New Future School, which is pregnant girls and mothers getting their GED or getting their high school diploma. And so they have different desires too. So I try to work with the organization on really what they want. There are organizations, because of addictions, that we exclude hand sanitizer, mouthwash, and hairspray. And so I need to tell each volunteer group when we get to that organization if it has exclusions or not. So just for safety measures.
yes. So all purses welcome.
Yeah, they are.
That's
they are.
great how there's a use for every
I know.
purse.
I know. So it goes out. It goes somewhere. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it goes somewhere. There's a need.
So I think the whole United States needs something like this. So I think you do need to go to Florida and Wisconsin, because this is nice. It's huge.
Well, it's recycling,
Yep.
and it's giving a gift to someone who really, really appreciates it.
Yeah.
So it touches our hearts.
Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself? You had mentioned earlier that you volunteered your time to many different organizations. That's why
Yeah.
someone had asked you.
Yeah. Well, I was a banker for 30 years, and bankers, they like them to be out in the community and involved with different organizations, and I was. And I fell into just these women's organizations. I just felt drawn to helping them. And then I retired in 2000, and I started working with those three organizations I mentioned. I was on the board of one and just working on fundraisers on the other two. And so that's how I got started with it, and I love it. I was divorced at age 22 with a 3-year-old and with no child support, but I had a great job at Sandia Labs. And I knew the Lord, and I had a family who would be there in the heartbeat. I had my own house payment of $99 a month, if you can imagine. And I could afford childcare for my only child. And I never went through some of the things these women are going through. I had a job. I had talent to get a job there. I had the Lord, with me. And my family, and a lot of these girls don't have that. That, in fact, maybe the family is the problem. And so I just felt like, where would I have been? It's kind of overwhelming to think about, because they have none of that.
Yeah.
So
The organization that you have started and continues to grow, hear you blessing these ladies, but then it expands to so much more with your over and abundant items where you're blessing others in the community and going to Haiti with some of these items. So it just keeps going and going and going. So this idea that you may have thought was just a small idea has grown into so much more. And so I want to make sure to put out there to anybody who's listening to us today is if something has been put on your heart, even if you think it is so small. I mean, just listening to Jane's story and how one act of kindness
That's what it was.
can just grow and multiply to be something so great. So there's never something too small. If something's on your heart, start it.
Right.
Do it. Don't, if it's on your heart, pray about it, go with it, but you never know what type of impact it's going to be. And if you just sit on it and don't do anything about it, then all these people wouldn't have these blessings that they've been able to receive.
I know. I had no idea. I just had absolutely no idea that this was going to be what it is. And you just don't know. So I think we need to be bold and courageous in stepping out. And I don't have any fear. My kids wish I had a little more fear. And so, I just think you just explore it. And it may not be the right thing, but if you have another thing on your heart, I think you need to be bold in it.
Well, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you,
have
Michelle.
blessed us just hearing about all of it, and we just want to thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
I should have brought a lot of the thank you notes and the letters to read, and we'd all been crying.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you for what you do.
Yes,
thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Jane.
It was good to meet you all.
You
Thank
as
you.
well. I was just going to add in too one more thing. Michelle was saying how it's such a blessing for those receiving the purses and the gifts that are put together with love, but also the volunteers. Like you kind of mentioned how they get so excited and they want to match the scarves, so they're like taking from here. This one looks better over here, and like they just get so into it. And what a blessing for them to be able to give, and it means so much for someone to be able to help, because it could be there's not really another way for them to volunteer. That might be just what is right for them. There are some talented women, like you said, that are great with XYZ, and so that could be their talent. And
That's right.
making it just right for that woman to see this beautifully put together matching purse, this gift.
Yeah. We had a couple years ago Love Week at our. They came every morning to work, and we had families sign up, and families with men and the kids. And so I laughed at one little girl. She looked like I could be about 10. She was a real fashionista. And so she came with her dad, and they were going down the rows, and he put on this scarf, and she said, "That's not going to do it.
10 years old.
You keep filling them out. I will put the scarves on." It was so cute.
So younger children can come too?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so all ages.
Last week we had a 3-year-old. We have a picture of her in a box. So cute. Yeah. So
That's great to know. So families could come.
Sure.
Yeah. Nice.
Great.
We'll have to put together a time for us to go volunteer.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
You'd have a good time.
Definitely. It sounds like fun and a huge blessing to be a part of. So thank you again for being here, and continue in all the wonderful work that you do. We wish you many, many more years in it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank
God
you.
will bless it. Thank you.